joining us.
We appreciate you being here. And before I ask my first question, I want people here and out there in our TV audience to know this man is a hardcore, long-time, till death do him part Laker fan. This is no Johnny-come-lately bandwagon jumper. This man goes on the road with his Los Angeles Lakers. When this man speaks Lakers, it comes straight from the bottom of his heart. Which brings us to what happened Sunday. You were on the road in Detroit when you heard the news. How did it hit you?
Still trying to process it. Dear friend of mine, loved his whole transformation, how he became great. You know, when he first got to LA, he wasn't great. He was a kid, and he was learning, and he was making mistakes, and I was a kid at the same time, so it was beautiful watching his story and watching mine, and watching him become a legend, and become a father, and become a mentor, and become a real leader. So it crushed my heart because I knew that he wasn't done. I just spoke with him at Puffy's 50th birthday party, and he was telling me about some of the things that he was working on and where his mind was as far as like being comfortable with retirement and just finding happiness with his daughters and finding that peace with being other than the basketball player. And that just crushed me because to see that, you know, it just hurt. I'm still hurt right now as we speak, Scott.
So you were okay that they postponed last night?
I was very okay with it because I felt like the player's spirit wasn't in the mood to compete. A lot of those guys really loved Kobe, and he was instrumental in a lot of those guys, from the Clippers to the Lakers. You see how Doc reacted to it?
Oh.
You know, and those aren't fake reactions, that's real. That man meant a lot to us, whether we competed against him, whether we played for him, played with him. His spirit, just the dog in him, just being the Mamba, that created the spirit to attack because it got too friendly at a certain point. The game was too friendly, and he made it about competition. It's about winning. And that's what it's always been about with him.
And you've talked in the last couple of days to a number of the players, I know, yes. Lakers and Clippers.
Yes, I spoke with a lot of players because naturally they hit me because I'm like their uncle. I'm like Uncle Snoop.
Yeah.
So they calling me to make sure I'm all right, but then at the same time, they need advice, they need wisdom, they need guidance on how do we deal with this. And I really don't know what to say because I'm trying to deal with it, but at the same time, I gotta be strong and I gotta give them the information that I feel like Kobe would have gave them. He would say, keep pushing, keep going, because he was the dog. He was never a quitter, so he would want y'all to keep rolling.
Snoop, when we talked about this on Monday, I said it felt like a family member had passed. Because you watch a 17-year-old kid become a champion, become a husband, become a father, and then he transitioned after 20 years in the NBA, and he goes to a new phase of his life. And it seems that he was gonna be as successful in the new phase as he was in the old. And, you know, sometimes we just think, a guy like Kobe, we expect him to live forever. We expect him to be 85, 90, he gets old, goes to sleep one night, doesn't wake up. Guy, they're not supposed to die like this, Snoop. And I'm like you, when someone sent me, I was like, that ain't true. So I turned the TV on. Where the TV, there's nobody showing, there's no breaking news, because I'm saying, if something like this happens to Kobe Bryant, this is gonna be breaking news everywhere, not just sports.
Every game supposed to stop everything.
Yes, and then all of a sudden, you see it.
Right.
Scrolling across the bottom of the screen. I'm like, man, this is true? How? I mean, and I was telling you, like, I had just texted him, and look, I met him at the Icon Awards. I didn't meet him for the first time, but he was talking to him. I was like, Kobe, bro, you seem so at peace. How, when you competed like you did? Because a lot of athletes, Snoop, you know, they have these struggle leaving the game because it's all they've done, it's all they know.
Right.
He's like, man, look, I gave it everything I had. The way I trained, the way I practiced, I got nothing. Now my focus is the creative side. I want to write stories. I want to tell stories. That's why I want to be a family. I just want to be my girl,
and
my
be
family.
A father.
Yes.
That was the most exciting part of me, seeing him show up to games and roll with his daughter and be the father.
Right.
When you become a father, that's the most beautiful gift you can get in this world, to be able to have that relationship with your kids.
Right.
It was, when he retired, I had him come to my spot in Inglewood because I wanted to give him a gift. I gifted him with my 6'4" Chevrolet. I gave it to him. I wanted him to have it. But when he came to see me, me and my son was in the studio, and he was talking to my son, and the information he was giving my son was so, it was like a teacher. And it was the same stuff that I had told my son, but he didn't hear me the way he heard him.
It's funny how that works.
It was so much confirmation.
Yes.
That I needed from Kobe to come in and mentor my son at that time, because he had made the decision not to play football.
Right.
And to try other things in life. And Kobe gave him the confirmation that whatever you do, just be great at what you do.
Right. And the thing is that he had that personality like Magic. Magic might meet you for the first time, but Magic Johnson makes you feel like he's known you 25 years. That's how Kobe was. I met Kobe in Denver, and I walk up to him, and I'm like, hey, man, let me get them shoes. He's like, you want? He gave me the shoes, signed them, and just started carrying on the conversation, yada, yada. It's like, bro, you just met me. It's just something about him. And like you said, I know Laker Nation is hurt, but even people that rooted against Kobe or rooted against his team broke down because you can't believe that this actually happened.
You know what it was? He was the type of athlete that even the enemies loved him.
Yes.
Like, and that's hard to say, because when you compete and you don't really like the person that you're up against, but it was something about his drive that made the enemy respect his drive, because he never gave up and he always went at him.
Right.
And I'm just so hurt, but I'm so happy that his legacy will live on through people like us, and we putting shows together to keep his name and keep his spirit going in the righteous way. And I think the NBA should change that logo to him. I'm gonna speak on it because I felt like Michael Jordan logo was already out there on the shoes. His shoes is everywhere.
Yeah,
you can't deny that.
Man.
Yeah, so, and I think Jordan will concede and say, you know what, let my little brother get that, because the players right now are more his peers and they look up to him more. Jordan is the generation before that. A lot of them didn't see Jordan like they seen Kobe. So I feel like that would be the proper gesture for the NBA to do, to go ahead and make it happen. Jerry West already given approval, so make it go.
Well, if you saw Jerry last night on TNT, he was just pouring his guts out on national TV because he did consider himself
Jerry found him in high school.
He found him.
So if you look, first of all, we have Vlade Divac. Let me tell you this.
He was an all-star, and he traded him.
Vlade and Magic was 1-2 punch. We was the whole thing with Vlade, and he traded Vlade for this kid out of high school. We was like, man, what is he doing?
Yeah.
What is he doing? But then when he came, remember, he was behind Eddie Jones, Van Exel, and all them, but he was different than them.
Yeah.
Whenever he would hit the court, it was like, man, he need to be in more.
And then Jerry said last night, I traded Eddie Jones, an all-star weight, because I knew that kid was ready to play.
Right. You hear what I just said? I'm a diehard. Eddie Jones and Van Exel, them, they was great. But he was just different, and he wasn't even great then. He was just, you could see his light was flickering. He didn't know how to turn it on, but it was flickering. And once he learned how to turn that light on, it wasn't gonna never come off.
Well, you remember that first season ended with that Utah loss and the closeout game?
So what? That's how you develop your shot. You got to shoot it in order to get it right.
And then make it come full circle. The final game was against Utah, and he dropped 60.
And I'm in the crowd dancing with him. You understand me?
The mama mentality, and everybody understands what a black mama is. Very venomous snake.
Yes.
But that snake will attack without provocation.
Nothing.
You ain't got to step on him. You ain't got to bother his young.
Nothing.
He will chase you. It will chase you to bite. Kobe didn't need you to be an enemy to drop 50 on you. You would be his best friend as Michael Jordan. He put 55 on him and say, take that with you to retirement.
But also, but not only that, like if a celebrity wanted to play against him. For example, Bow Wow wanted to play against him. My little homeboy, Bow Wow, like 5'8". So you think he gonna be nice to Bow Wow? He backing Bow Wow down, taking it to him hard, talking mess. Like he don't like to lose. And that's the mentality of the Mamba that I feel like it's going to carry on. It's going to make the league more stronger, because the league is getting a little too friendly.
Yeah.
It's a lot of friendships, which is no problem with that. But when we competing, we're supposed to compete.
Right.
And that's what I like about the Clippers, is that when they play the Lakers, they compete and they bring it to us. And I think the league should get more onto that page.
And you see what's happening? You see guys that we don't expect. We see guys, Eric Gordon drop 50.
Yes.
We see Buddy Hield come off the bench, drop 42. Chris Middleton last night hit 51. You had Bradley Beal drop. You getting guys, something's going on here, Snoop.
Right.
Something that we've never, ever seen before, because we've really never had an athlete kind of like Kobe. You know, we talked about it, Skip, Roberto Clemente, who was delivering aid to Nicaragua, or Dale Earnhardt, who died in a plane crash.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen anything like this. And like you said, Jordan was the idol of like guys like Kobe and LeBron.
Right.
The guys that are playing now, Kobe is their idol like Jordan was to them.
Yes.
So
It's facts. Don't say, huh? It's facts. You better go do a heat check right now. Ask every player in the NBA, who did you want to be like growing up?
Yeah. Kobe. Because they would, a lot of these guys skip a lot. Some of these guys are one and done. Well, Kobe was 0 and done. He's straight from high school. And LeBron said that gave him the courage. Well, he did. I believe I can do that.
Right.
So we lost some iconic entertainers way too soon. I brought up Monday. Michael Jackson was gone at 50 and Prince was gone at 57. And if I can hark back to Elvis, he was gone at 42. But each of those icons, there was some self-destruction involved in their demise. This was just straight tragedy. That just shocking, can't happen tragedy. This is a man who almost flew helicopters for a living, it felt like he helicoptered everywhere he went.
He flew to come see me in a helicopter.
There you go.
By himself.
Whew.
And he said the reason was Skip, they asked him why. He said what had happened was the traffic had started to get so bad that he was missing his daughter's recitals. He was missing things. He said, well, I still need to be true to my craft. So I still got to put that time in. I got to practice. I got to get the weight time in. But I also need to get back. So he's like, the only logical thing for me to do is to get above the freight. 15 minutes there, 15 minutes back, boom, I don't miss a thing.
Yeah, because that's a 3-hour drive in traffic. That's a 3-hour drive in traffic from where